I am super excited about this. Ooh, I like the packaging. This is nice. Ah, sick. They sent us a shirt. Did a really good job of packing this bad boy in. Like, this thing is not moving whatsoever. Ooh, that is, whoa. Oh man, let's get this out of here. Wow, that's beautiful. Let's get this guy out of here. Oh, dude, check this out. Okay, so I am super excited about this review. After talking with the owner of Era Custom Drums, we got to talking about what we're gonna do in this review. You know, typically on the channel, I will do 3 different tunings, you know, high, medium, and low, and kind of give my opinion about it, and maybe throw a song in there too to kind of see how it fits in the mix. However, I want to push this a little bit, and I want to see what does this sound like in a live setting. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this drum to my church, and I'm not gonna tell them that I'm putting this snare drum on the kit. I'm just gonna show up with it. After we play, I wanna get their honest opinions about the sound of the drum. So first, before we get to the church, let's get it on the kit. Let's tune it up to the 3 different tunings, high, medium, and low, and see what we can get tone-wise out of this drum. I'm really excited. Let's get going. All right, y'all, it's time to go to church. Let's go.
Never failed us yet, God. In death, in life, I'm confident and covered by the power of your great love. My debt is paid. There's nothing more. The earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will say, great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We praise
All right, so we played the snare in the studio. We then brought the snare to the church to hear how it sounds in a live mix. I have had time to listen back to both mixes and come up with my own personal opinions about this Era custom drum. But before I share, I need to make a quick phone call to my dude, Jason. Now, who in the world is Jason and why am I calling him? Well, simply put, Jason is the maestro. No, but in all seriousness, he is the sound engineer from Sunday. Jason has always been a straight shooter when it comes time for sound, general mixes, and drum tones. So let's call him and chat with him about this Era custom snare drum.
Hello, this is Jason.
Hey, Jason. Hey, it's Jordan.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with me. I really appreciate your time and your expertise in sound. One of the questions that I have for you is, what do you personally look for when it comes time for like drum or snare tone in the general church mix?
To answer that question, you have to take one step back and understand what you are looking for in a general church mix overall, right?
Yeah.
In which is one of the things that we do with Redemption is we want things to sound close to studio or the studio mix down as possible.
Yeah.
Which means that you need to have space for every single instrumentation, every single sound that is on there. You need to have where all the vocals can shine through and all your guitars and everything like that. So in the whole grand scheme of things, for specifically drums, you are fitting drums into a segment within that.
Yeah.
And usually you have your drums as your bass level with your cymbals as your top end, right? Because that's how they actually fit within the grand scheme of things in sound. And so with the drums, you also know that every single drum hit is going to be something that's going to be a sharp attack. just because of how it strikes in a drum set, right?
Yeah.
And so you look at stuff with it. So when for those tones and everything like that, so it's that strong initial punch that you get with the tone, and then it moves out of the way so everything else can still be heard while everything's going on. So you're not getting these reverberating tones over and over and over, essentially feeding back on itself all throughout the entire thing. So,
yeah, that makes total sense.
That makes sense?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm going to be really honest with you. I tried to be as discreet as possible, but this past Sunday, did you happen to notice that I switched out the snare drum for the Sunday service? Did you recognize that at all?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right.
And I was like, Jordan, what are you doing to me? 'Cause, this is one of those ones where it's like I wish I would have had a couple minutes to take and tune it, EQ it just a little bit, because what I was hearing was different than what I normally hear off our snare and everything. So.
For sure, yeah. What were your thoughts, snare drum tone wise, for Sunday? Like, did you have like I didn't like it, I loved it, I was impartial? Like, do you have any feedback on the tone of the snare drum for that Sunday?
I really liked the initial punch
on
that snare in particular. I would say that the tone wise, I really liked the punchiness of it. I really liked it's not the higher tones. Like I've heard some those piccolo snares and stuff like that, or some of those really short ones, and they just overpowering in the high end on this. This was right there, dead middle. Like it was. I really liked the punchiness of it, and I really liked how a lot of aspects of it I just would have taken and moved the gates back a little bit and allowed it to expand a little bit more than it was.
Yeah.
From the recording side of it.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for that. That helps me a ton. So I'm going to now reveal why I called you. So
okay.
The reason I'm talking with you, the reason why I wanted your input and your feedback is because this was a custom snare drum that was built by a company called Era Custom Drums, and they sent this to me to do a gear review on. So I got the studio side of things, and then I wanted to challenge myself to think outside the box when it comes time for reviews. So I was like, you know what? It'd be really fun to take it to church, and then get somebody else's opinion also included on this. So this was the Era Custom Drums debut being played out at a church, and as a sound guy, I wanted to get your feedback on it because this drum could potentially benefit a church in the future. If you had to grade it from like a 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being not, where would you personally grade that particular drum tone wise at?
Tone wise, I would put it somewhere around like an 8, maybe 8.5, somewhere in there. Now, that's utilizing our stuff and everything like that. With some of the past snares that and sound tech and stuff that I've worked with, got to work with some professionals in the business and everything like that. So I would say he's definitely on track. I'm looking forward to other things that he's building. I would definitely welcome listening to anything that he puts his hand to, because if this is something that he's already, if this is a custom one, I'm interested in this guy right away. So
cool, awesome.
Yeah,
I will let him know that. Hey, Jason, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and thank you for your wisdom in the realm of sound. And again, just thank you for all your hard work. Behind the scenes, it's not always a thanked job, but we really appreciate you and all that you bring to the table.
And and I appreciate you and everything you bring to the table and everything you're doing there at JMS Drums. I appreciate it. Helping cultivating that worship drummer and cultivating the spirit of worship through drumming. I'm so grateful for everything that you're doing too, man. I appreciate it.
Cool. Take care.
Bye.
See you. Bye. Well, Manuel, I don't know what else to say, but that's pretty cool.
So I'm not gonna lie, I have had my fair share of maple snares, but this is the first ash snare drum that I've ever played, and now I really don't want to send it back to Manuel if I'm being completely honest. I was curious though, what was the difference between ash and maple, so I did some digging. The main difference between ash and maple is density and the strength of the wood. Maple is stronger than ash and more dense, which means that there's less give with the shell. Ash is less dense and flexes more. And I'm not sure what this does for the snare drum itself, but whatever it does, I really like it. The higher tuning on this snare was my all-time favorite. It was crisp, it was cutting. I mean, let's be real, it was stink face worthy. I love the higher tuning on this drum. Mids and lows, they weren't bad, but the higher tuning on this one was just so good. I am gonna be honest, one thing that threw me off with this snare was the fact that I did not see any air vent anywhere on this drum. I was really confused how this worked because, you know, you need air to escape to let the drum play. So to see if I could figure out this whole airflow situation, I used one of my travel lights to illuminate the inside of the drum. I'm really glad that I did this because it answered the question of airflow. Manuel was super smart and cut little air vents in the snare behind the tube lugs to let air escape and let the drum ring out. At first glance, they are barely visible. Once the light illuminated the inside though, I could see all of them. I think this is a really unique and innovative take on a snare drum. Manuel, the design on this thing is an 11 out of 10. It is so good. Once again, Jason, thank you so much for your wisdom in the area of sound and live mixes. Your input really helps me out in making an educated drum review. And of course, thank you, Manuel, for sending this beautiful snare for me to review and check out. Let's be real, if you are looking for an incredible snare, or if you want this exact drum, links to Era custom drums are below. Reach out to Manuel about a custom build, or if you love this snare, you even have the opportunity to purchase this exact drum right here. Thanks, friends. We will catch you on the next one.